Breaching barricades and blocking doors. South Korea's president declares martial law. The parliament tries to block it, and the country is now in upheaval. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. Protesters and police clashing after President Yoon Suk-yeol declares emergency martial law for the first time since the military coup of 1979. He says the step is critical for defending the country's constitutional order and a necessary safeguard against the forces of communism. His parliament clearly not seeing it that way. Yoon is accusing his political opponents of sympathizing with North Korea, saying they paralyzed the government with anti-state activities, but the National Assembly firing back, voting to demand that their president lift the martial law declaration. Our Joo-hee Cho is in Seoul with the latest now. So, Joo-hee, let's just talk about how this all went down, and it happened so quickly.
Yes, Kira, it was less than 3 hours. He declared martial law, the parliament got together, and they voted against it. Right now, at the moment, they're waiting for the president to admit that the martial law is over. We were at the parliament, but there's so many people, supporters gathered, mostly opposition supporters, who claimed that the martial law itself was illegal. They're calling to impeach President Yoon. They're definitely determined to drag him down. But we'll have to see in the morning what happens, because the law experts will have to interpret whether this was actually illegal or not.
And let's just talk more about President Yoon and why he said he did this, accusing his political opponents of sympathizing with North Korea, saying that they've paralyzed the government with anti-state activities. Is there any truth to this?
President Yoon basically determines or defines the opposition as anti-state forces. And this is a rhetoric that the Conservative Party normally use. They use North Korea as an excuse. To be clear, there's no external threat. North Korea is not at the door right now, but he said that as an excuse to declare martial law. This is basically, Kira, his personal war against the parliament, which is controlled by the opposition. President Yoon describes the parliament as a group of criminals. The threat of North Korean communist forces and to eradicate the shameless pro-North anti-state forces is what he tried to say. But I don't think people are buying that here right now. And this totally came out of the blue. He did not contact anyone in his administration. The Minister of National Defense did not know about it. So we're finding out a lot of surprising facts right now.
Indeed, and keep collecting those facts, please, and bring them to us. Joo-hee Cho in Seoul, we appreciate you connecting with us at the last minute. I know it's been a long night and morning for you. Let's talk more about this story with our foreign correspondent, Britt Clennett. Also, our national security and defense analyst, Mick Mulroy. Britt, let's just talk about, as we just heard straight from our correspondent, Joo-hee, that this caught everybody by surprise, and it happened in the dead of night. It seems to have calmed down. It didn't last very long, but you tell us your thoughts. I mean, where do you think things go from here? Is it over?
Well, I think many people, many stakeholders, especially in the region, do hope so. Seeing those chaotic scenes of clashes outside the legislature, it is quite rocking. It is quite concerning for leaders across the region, but also the world, and certainly here in the United States too. Look, I think we have to remember that for the last 30 years, this has been a robust democracy. Okay, it is a beacon of democracy in the region, and many people there are very proud of South Korea's strong history of democracy. 1980. Kira, was the last time there was anything like this. There was a military coup, a political leader was assassinated. That's the last time there was this kind of martial law that we're seeing now. So I think there's a lot of hope that this whole drama is maybe subsided for now, but a lot of concern too. Also, the North Koreans, we're not sure whether they're going to take this. They don't have the intelligence capabilities probably to make the most of this, but certainly they will kind of use this, spin this in their propaganda way. That's what they usually do. But they're also occupied with their commitments to Russia right now, fighting for Russia in Ukraine and so forth. So it's not clear exactly what impact this will have in the region, but certainly many stakeholders hoping that this is the end.
So how do you define Mick? I mean, Yoon is deeply unpopular as a leader. He's facing impeachment. Do you think this was sort of his Hail Mary, wild, crazy move to save his job? And do you think there's potential military implications as well?
So, Kara, it's looking more and more like that's the case. We haven't seen any statements specifically from the U.S. talking about any kind of foreign interference. So this looks more like it was a political issue internal to South Korea. Yes, as Britt said, it is a democracy. It's also one of the key allies of the United States, a treated ally with over 41,000 U.S. forces stationed in Camp Humphreys in South Korea. So this has serious consequences when it comes to the stability and to the United States national security. So I think this is going to be watched very closely by the United States, and they're going to determine just what is going on here and what isn't. And it looks like it is not foreign interference. At least that's what we can see now. And it looks like it is a political internal dispute.